Hello friends, this is Lazarus Dias, the professional sales performance management coach. 32 years in the insurance industry, 16 years as an advisor with 6 MDRT qualifications, 4 years as branch head and senior manager recruitment with Birla Sun Life Insurance Company, where I recruited 3,000 advisors in 3 months, 12 years in training and consultancy, created 1000 MDRTs in 12 years. This video lesson is based on the book LDEA Success System. LDEA is an acronym for Lazarus Dias Education Academy. The subtitle of this book goes like this: The secret of success is that there are no secrets. There are only principles. In today's lesson, we are going to look at thoughts to destiny. A few years back, I was standing in a queue to meet the principal of the college of my son. He had invited all the parents. And as I was standing in this queue, I saw a frame hanging just across the door of the principal. The words which were mentioned in that frame changed my training orientation completely and permanently. As I stood there, because it was quite a few minutes before we got to meet the principal, I started brooding over these lines again and again. What were those lines which I saw in that frame? What was written on this frame was, "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. And watch your character, it becomes your destiny." And as I was reading these words over and over, again and again, the meaning of this started seeping inside of me. And I started thinking more in detail about these words. So let us take a very deeper insight into what these words mean. So the first line states, thoughts become words. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Now what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this, my dear friends, is that whatever you say will always be aligned to your thoughts. If your thoughts are positive, enthusiastic and encouraging, then your words also will be positive, enthusiastic and encouraging. If your thoughts are negative, you will always be talking negative. Therefore, it's a foregone conclusion that what your words are dependent on your thoughts. I don't think it is at all possible for a person to think negative and talk positive. It does not happen. And therefore it is very rightfully said, thoughts become your words. The next line says, watch your words because they become actions. Now the very important thing is that whatever you talk, your action will always be aligned to that. If you talk negative, you will be in fear, doubt, apprehension, and therefore your action will be aligned to that. Your feelings will be aligned to that. But if you talk positive, you will feel very strong, motivated and enthusiastic, and therefore your action will match your words. The third statement says, watch your actions, they become habits. So here also, if you see that as you do things over and over again and again, they will become your habits. And what happens to habits? Unconsciously, unknowingly, you keep on doing that. So therefore, once habits are formed, it's very difficult to get over with them. and therefore there will be a permanency about your actions. The next statement says, watch your habits, it becomes your character. Now that is very important. Habits which you do over and over again finally become who you are. You basically carry an aura of your habits, which basically get defined as to who you are. Now let me give you an example. I always share this with all my training participants, whether it is sales managers, whether it is advisors, whether it is salesmen, that what is important is the aura that you carry around. And I always share my experience, and I tell them that my experience now has been in the last 32 years that whenever I go to meet some customer, he will look at his watch and correct his watch if required. Now, what is the meaning of that? The meaning is that over a period of time, he has come to believe that I will never be late, irrespective of whatever happens. And therefore, he has more faith on me than on the watch. Now, this is an aura that I have created, and it's not just happening at one place. I see it happening with many of my customers. And I have consciously created this habit, and which has now converted into an aura or a character. Just imagine how much trust will be developed because of this very small action. The next statement says, watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Character is an aura. What is destiny? Destiny basically means what will people think about you? What will people talk about you? What will your family members, what will your customers talk about you once you leave this world? And that is called as destiny. What we keep behind when we are gone is destiny. We need to really think about what is the destiny that we want. And therefore, the results that we get is based on whatever destiny we are going to create. And that result is a consequence of our thoughts. Most of the time, people look at their results. But looking at their results will not help, because it is the thoughts that create those results. So if you are not getting the results that you desire in your life, please take a look at your thoughts and make some correction there. To the extent that you will correct your thoughts, so will you correct your results. With that, we end today's lesson. Stay tuned for the next lesson next time. Thank you.